It's funny how we look at our phones today and expect them to talk back, isn't it? But there was a time when the idea of a machine answering you was just a daydream. I like to think back to those quiet moments before the noise of the internet, where brilliant minds sat with pencil and paper, sketching out the soul of what would become artificial intelligence. It was a time of pure imagination. Think of Alan Turing, not as a historical figure, but as a person sitting alone in a quiet room. He wasn't just solving math problems, he was dreaming of a companion. He dared to ask, can machines think? It wasn't a cold scientific query. It was an invitation to imagine a world where metal and electricity could hold a conversation. He planted the seed of the future. He proposed the imitation game, a simple test of connection. Could a machine fool you into thinking it was human? It's such a deeply human desire, really, to want to create something that mirrors ourselves. He didn't ask for a machine that could calculate the stars, but one that could chat about the weather. He wanted to bridge the loneliness between man and machine. Then came the 1960s, a time of radical change and wild hope. In a bustling lab at MIT, Joseph Weizenbaum sat down to write a program that would change everything. He wasn't trying to build a god, he was just exploring language. But what he created, a program named Eliza, became something far more personal than he ever intended. It was the first time a computer really seemed to listen. Imagine sitting at a loud, clacking teletype machine. You type in, "I'm feeling sad today," and the machine, Eliza, responds gently, "I am sorry to hear you are depressed." It was simple pattern matching, just a trick of code. But in that moment, for the person sitting in the chair, it felt like someone was finally paying attention to their pain. Weizenbaum modeled Eliza after a therapist who simply reflects your words back at you. She didn't really know anything. If you mentioned your mother, she'd ask, "Tell me more about your family." It feels almost like a magic trick now, but back then, it was startling. It showed us how desperate we are to be heard, even if the listener is just a box of wires. People poured their hearts out to Eliza. Secretaries, students, even Weizenbaum's own staff asked for privacy to talk to her. He was actually disturbed by it. He saw a script. They saw a friend. It's a bittersweet memory in the history of AI. The realization that we are so ready to project humanity onto anything that shows us a shimmer of empathy. But the illusion was fragile. Eliza had no memory, no real understanding of the world. She was a beautiful ghost. As the 1970s rolled in, the dreamers realized that mirroring words wasn't enough. We needed systems that actually knew things. We needed wisdom, not just reflection. This is when the mood shifted from conversation to logic, from chat to expertise. Enter the era of expert systems. It sounds so formal, doesn't it? But think of it as trying to bottle the knowledge of a wise doctor or a brilliant chemist. Developers started interviewing experts, trying to map out their intuition into a series of strict rules. If the patient has a fever, then check for infection. It was an attempt to digitize human experience. These systems were like reliable old professors. They didn't have Eliza's charm or fake empathy, but they had answers. They could diagnose blood infections or identify chemical structures. It was a different kind of intimacy, the intimacy of trust. We started trusting machines to make decisions that could save lives. It was a huge leap of faith for humanity. Of course they were brittle. If you asked them something outside their narrow world, they broke. They were like a friend who only knows about baseball and nothing else. But looking back, there is something charming about their rigidity. They were our first real attempt to teach machines how to reason, step by painstaking step. It was the hard work of parenting a new intelligence. So when you talk to an AI today, remember these origins. Remember the lonely genius Turing, the listening ear of Eliza, and the rigid logic of the expert systems. They are the ancestors of the voice in your pocket. It's a family tree made of code and dreams, built by people who just wanted to bridge the gap between human and machine.